Consistency gives you power. Think of a river cutting through rock. It is not the force of one big wave that shapes the canyon. It is the gentle flow that never stops. When you show up day after day, even with small steps, you become that river. You start carving new paths in your mind, your habits, and your future. People around you may notice only the big moments, but the real magic happens quietly when you repeat the simple tasks nobody praises. Each time you do, you lay another stone in the bridge that carries you forward. At first, your goal feels like a mountain. You look up and it seems impossible. But every morning you wake up, lace your shoes, and take a single step. The peak does not shrink, but you rise. Inch by inch, foot by foot, you close the gap. The climb tests your willpower. Some days feel heavy and slow, like walking through mud. Others feel light, as if the wind itself is pushing you up. The secret is to climb on both kinds of days. Over time, the mud days grow fewer, and the wind days grow stronger. That is the reward that only persistence can buy. Staying smart is the second key. Consistency without thought becomes a treadmill. You move, sweat, and stay in the same place. Napoleon Hill reminds us that clear purpose and sound planning guide steady effort toward real gain. So ask yourself each night, did my steps today take me closer to my dream, or did I walk in circles? Adjust tomorrow's plan before the sun rises again. When you pair endless motion with honest reflection, you build what Hill calls accurate thinking, the rare skill that turns raw work into real progress. Distractions will beg for your time. Friends will call you to drop your project for quick fun. Screens will glow with endless scrolling. Your own doubts will whisper, take it easy. One skip day won't hurt, but one skip day easily becomes 2, and 2 become 10. Instead, protect your routine the way a farmer protects his crops. Set clear borders. Choose set hours for learning, building, and resting. When you guard your schedule, you guard your future. Small wins feed the fire. Celebrate them. When you finish a workout, mark an X on a wall calendar. When you read 10 pages, give yourself a smile in the mirror. These marks look tiny, but together they draw a map of progress that your brain can see. Each X says, I keep promises to myself. Over weeks, those promises stack, and your self-belief grows taller than any doubt. Hill taught that belief backed by action turns desire into reality. Your tiny victories build that unstoppable belief. Yet even a strong routine will face storms. You may lose a client, fail a test, get sick, or feel heartbreak. Life can knock you flat before you know what happened. In that moment, your main job is simple. Stand up. If you cannot run, crawl. If you cannot crawl, breathe. Tell yourself, I will not end today without one good step. It could be writing a single line, practicing 1 minute, or planning tomorrow. That one step keeps the chain unbroken. Soon you find your feet again and the storm passes. Your record of never quitting makes you dangerous to failure itself. Remember to stay curious. Consistency does not mean repeating the same mistake forever. Check your results. If your method stalls, study better ways. Read books, watch mentors, ask questions. Hill called this organized knowledge. It is fuel for the engine of regular effort. When you learn faster, each new day's work hits harder. You avoid dead ends and find smarter shortcuts, but only because you kept moving and kept asking. Keep your circle sharp, too. Spend time with people who value discipline, who talk about ideas and goals, not gossip. Their energy flows into you. They will push you when you hesitate and praise you when you win. If no one near you shares your vision, become your own loudest supporter. Speak your goals out loud. Write them and read them morning and night. Let your words plant seeds in your mind until your actions bloom. As your progress shows, others will look your way. They will call you lucky. They will say, you have talent. Smile, but know the truth. Luck favors the diligent, and talent grows where sweat waters it. Do not seek cheers, seek mastery. The cheers may come and they may fade, but mastery stays and mastery pays. Now, lock this into your routine. Take decisive action at the same hour each day. Start small if you must. 5 push-ups, 5 new words, $5 saved. Build momentum. Once the habit forms, raise the bar. 10 push-ups, 10 pages, $10. Keep stretching. Your brain loves patterns. Give it patterns of success. Soon the sight of your workout clothes signals strength. The smell of morning coffee signals study. The evening quiet signals planning. Your environment becomes a partner in your growth. Guard your health. A strong mind needs a strong body. Sleep enough. Move daily. Feed yourself like an athlete. Consistency breaks when energy breaks. Remember, fatigue makes quitting feel logical. Stay charged and you stay committed. Generosity also multiplies gains. When you learn a lesson, share it. When you win, lift someone else. Teaching what you know seals the knowledge deeper into your own mind and creates allies who cheer your future work. Hill spoke of the mastermind, a group of minds working towards shared benefit. Your steady effort plus shared knowledge turns into compound growth, faster than either alone. Finally, keep your eyes on the long game. People overrate what they can finish in a week and underrate what they can achieve in a year. Picture the future version of yourself who never breaks the chain. Stronger body, sharper mind, bigger skills, deeper bank account, wider reach. That person is already inside you, waiting for today's actions to unlock the door. So here is the call to action. Choose one goal right now. Write it down. Then note the smallest daily action that moves you toward it. Commit to doing that action for the next 30 days without fail. Tape the note somewhere you cannot miss. Each day you complete it, put a bold X. At day 30, read the pattern of X's and feel the power you created. You will know in your bones that consistency is not a burden, it is a lever that lifts the world. If this message lights a fire and you share it with one friend who needs the spark, hit subscribe so you and I can travel this road together. And every morning when you wake up, tell yourself, keep going, stay smart, win always, then prove it with action. Your future self and the world you will shape are counting on you. What happens after day 30? You double down on the promise. Imagine a blacksmith's forge in the old world, iron glowing, hammer ringing. Each strike seems small, yet the blade takes shape only because the strikes never stop. So you step into your modern forge, your desk, your gym floor, your practice room. You lift the hammer of effort again and again, letting purpose heap your metal and discipline swing the blow. The sparks that fly are daily achievements. A stronger paragraph, a clearer presentation, a faster mile, a sharper pitch. Soon your simple tool becomes a work of art, and people seek you out not for what you say you can do, but for what your consistent grind has already proved. Definiteness of purpose, Hill's first principle, now shifts from theory to instinct. You no longer ask, should I work today? The question flips, how can I refine today's work to strike nearer the mark? When course corrections appear, you take them without ego, because purpose is the compass, not pride. Think of Thomas Edison, who logged over 1,000 failed filaments before lighting the modern bulb. Each failure was not a defeat, but a data point, he said. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the mindset you adopt. Every setback is raw information feeding your next iteration. Energy once wasted on self-doubt gets reinvested in the next trial, the next draft, the next call. As your competence compounds, another law of life awakens, attraction. Hill called it the law of harmonious vibration, but you can see it in plain language. Like finds like. When you radiate perseverance and clarity, you draw allies who reflect the same. A coder refining her app every night meets a designer polishing layouts at dawn. Together they birth a product the market didn't know it needed. A speaker rehearsing speeches each lunch break meets a marketer testing headlines at midnight. Together they fill halls. Consistency sends a signal the ambitious recognize. I am reliable. Join me and our joint effort will multiply. The lone wolf becomes the mastermind, a collective brain impossible to assemble without that first silent record of daily proof. Guard against silent enemies, too. Routine can breed boredom, and boredom is the doorway to sabotage. Vitamin C loses potency when left open to air. Your dedication weakens when exposed to monotony. The antidote is creative stretch. Once a task grows easy, add difficulty, heavier weights, tougher books, bigger markets. This deliberate discomfort injects novelty, forcing new synapses to fire and keeping the thrill alive. Think of a video game. Early levels hook you, but you stay only if challenges scale with skill. Your life, crafted intentionally, must be designed the same way. Now weave rest into the fabric of progress. Consistency does not equal nonstop labor, it equals rhythmic labor. A champion sprinter doesn't race every day, she alternates sprint days with recuperation so muscles rebuild stronger. Likewise, carve moments of stillness, mindful walks, deep breaths by a window, phone-free meals. Paradoxically, these pauses are stripes on the tiger of productivity, giving your next attack greater speed. Skipping them invites burnout, and burnout breaks the chain more brutally than laziness ever could. Track not only actions, but emotions. Journal the way you felt before and after your routines. Patterns emerge. Maybe writing feels sluggish on a full stomach, or workouts soar when music plays. Dialing in these emotional levers is like oiling the gears of a well-crafted machine. Friction drops, output rises. You evolve from merely doing the work to optimizing the conditions that make the work sing. Legacy enters the conversation next. One day, long after the applause fades, someone young will study your path the way you study hills. What breadcrumb trail will they find? Leave them more than achievements. Leave a blueprint. Document your processes, the mental scripts you use to push through doubt, the morning rituals that set the tone. When your children, students, or successors pick up that manual, they inherit not just knowledge, but belief. If this ordinary person produced extraordinary results through steady effort, so can I. That transfer of conviction might be your greatest win. Money and recognition will come, slowly at first, then in gusts, but treat them as milestones, not destinations. A farmer celebrates a good harvest, yet he returns to the fields the next season, tools in hand. You must do the same. Channel new resources into learning, into philanthropy, into building environments where more dreams can sprout. Consistency makes you wealthy. Purposeful reinvestment keeps you rich in meaning. Do not fear plateaus. A plateau is often hidden preparation for a leap. Imagine climbing stairs in darkness. Feel for the next rise, but sometimes there's a landing. You walk flat for a while, unsure if you're still ascending, until suddenly another step appears. Trust the process. During apparent stalls, skills integrate, networks mature, character roots deepen. The leap arrives precisely because you continued walking when progress felt invisible. When self-talk turns harsh, I'm too far behind, I started too late, others are better, reframe it. Remind yourself that consistency erases lateness. A beginner who writes one thoughtful page daily will produce a polished book sooner than a genius who writes in random bursts. The tortoise wins not by speed, but by refusing detours. As night falls, close each day with gratitude. Thank the earlier version of you who kept showing up, because today's opportunities bloom from yesterday's seeds. Gratitude rewires the brain to view effort as privilege, not punishment. And privilege is hard to abandon. It beckons you back to the grind with a smile instead of a sigh. Now, picture the next decade. 10 years contain roughly 3,650 dawns. If you invest 2 focused hours in your craft each dawn, that's over 7,000 hours, enough to outrank 99% of practitioners in almost any field. Most people never string together even 30 days, yet 3,650 waits for anyone willing to begin. Let the sheer math empower you. Greatness is not mystical, it is arithmetic. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, recall this pact. The path is simple. Rise, act, refine, rest, repeat. Let neighbors gossip about politics. Let strangers debate online. Your eyes stay fixed on the next brick in your cathedral. Each brick whispers the same command. Keep going, stay smart, win always. And when victory feels complete, when the trophy gleams, the bank balance swells, the crowd chants your name, do something radical. Wake up the next day and lay another brick, because consistency isn't merely how you get power, it's how you stay powerful. Keep striking, keep carving, keep shining. The world may one day forget the noise of headlines, but it will never erase the carved canyon of constant, purposeful effort. Your work, like that river, will keep flowing long after the first drops met stone. As you settle into this rhythm of carved stone and flowing water, you begin to notice subtle shifts in your inner landscape. What was once an act of will becomes an echo of who you are. You no longer argue with the alarm clock. You've become the alarm. You do not debate whether to sit at your desk. You find yourself drawn there, as if pulled by magnetic purpose. This is the true transformation. Persistence scaffolds identity. The person you were at step one grows obsolete, replaced by someone wired to move forward by default. When identity and action fuse, consistency no longer feels like exertion, it feels like breathing. Yet identity alone cannot capture the full picture. You also need community. Seek out those whose fires burn beside yours. Join a mastermind group or a simple accountability partner who knows your goals and will call you out when you falter. There is something primeval about shared struggle. A group of climbers roped together scales peaks no solo hiker could attempt. Your group becomes both sounding board and safety net. They offer fresh ideas when you're stuck, candid feedback when your vision blurs, and celebration when you hit milestones. Collective momentum magnifies individual grit, turning single-file progress into a charging herd. Still, beware the trap of comparison. Your journey is unique. Your background, your challenges, your timetable. Others may blaze trails faster or slower, but their paths are not your paths. Keep your eyes forward, but occasionally glance sideways, only to cheer another's victory, not to measure your worth. In place of envy, cultivate admiration. When you see someone surge ahead, dissect their methods. What habits do they follow? How do they structure their day? Then adapt those insights to your own playbook. This alchemy of imitation and innovation supercharges growth without entangling you in unhelpful self-judgment. Innovation is your ally. Consistency builds muscle memory. Creativity makes that muscle nimble. Invent small experiments. Rearrange your workspace. Change the time you practice. Switch the tools you use. Track which tweaks accelerate your output or spark new ideas. Treat these experiments like A/B tests in a lab. Some will fail, but failures yield data more valuable than blind repetition. The goal is not to reinvent your core routine every week, but to sprinkle in controlled variation so that you avoid plateaus of predictability. The flow of consistency, threaded with novelty, forges a craft that is both reliable and alive. Adversity will visit like an uninvited storm. Illness, conflict, financial strain, or doubt gnawing at your confidence. Face these storms with the same principle that sustains your routine: adaptability. If illness knocks you out of your physical regimen, transfer your energy to something lighter: stretching, deep breathing, or mental rehearsal. If financial challenges force you to work extra hours at a job, reallocate your project work into pockets of time, lunch breaks, early mornings, or weekends. The form of your routine can bend like bamboo, but its spine, your commitment, must stay unbroken. After all, the oak may bend in high winds, but it never snaps when its roots are deep. As your work matures, embrace the moral responsibility it brings. Influence follows consistency. People will look to you for advice, mentorship, or collaboration. This is not a burden, but an invitation. When you share your expertise through teaching, writing, or simple conversations, you reinforce your own mastery and build goodwill that returns manifold. Mentorship creates a feedback loop. Those you guide become ambassadors of your methods, and their successes amplify your own legacy. Your consistent effort, extended through others, becomes a force multiplier across communities and industries. Finally, circle back to reflection. Every month, pause to assess: what have you built? What habits stuck and which need retooling? Compare this month's journal entries or calendar marks to the last. Celebrate how far you've come, but also ask the hard questions. Where did you slack and why? What distractions lured you away? Then recommit. Write a fresh declaration of purpose, refine your goals, and recommit for another cycle. This ritual of review ensures your momentum stays aligned with your deepest values, prevents derailment, and renews your sense of adventure. Now imagine your legacy 10, 20, 50 years down the road. The quiet strokes of effort you place today will coalesce into rivers that cut canyons, into forests that seed kingdoms, and into stories that inspire generations. The unbroken chain of your daily actions becomes a testament not only to what you built, but to who you became. A person defined by resolve, sharpened by thought, and driven by vision. Consistency did not merely give you power, it revealed the power that was always within you. So here is the next step. Tonight, write down 3 adaptations you will introduce tomorrow. New experiments, fresh scheduling tweaks, or outreach to a potential accountability partner.